Fantasy is a well-known genre that doesn't need an introduction. Any person of any age and gender can be sucked into fantasy. With intriguing plot lines, mysterious characters, and fantastical settings, it provides an excellent opportunity to immerse in the words or drawings on a page. Now imagine adding some action to it. Everything would be on a whole nother level. So here's a list of the top 10 action fantasy manhwas to keep you entertained.
I'm coming for the throne.
The Magic Chef of Ice and Fire. Nian Bing is the son of a fire mage and an ice mage. After both of his parents were killed by the Ice Lord, Nian Bing received both of his parents' magic gems. When Nian Bing was trying to escape from the Ice Lord's followers, he managed to cast both fire and ice magic at the same time, an impossible feat for a mage. He fell from the cliff unconscious and was saved by an old man. After he woke up, the old man gave him food that was more delicious than anything he had tasted before. It turned out that old man was a genius chef, once called a spirit chef, and he wants Nian Bing to be his disciple no matter what. Is Nian Bing able to seek vengeance while aiming to become the greatest chef? Now, there's nothing that really stood out in this manhwa, it's just your typical Chinese manhwa. But it's rather decent in my opinion. It's a good read to pass the time. Wizard's Martial World. At the age of 78, Midran, an Archmage, is still searching for a way to reach the 8th circle. Then one day when he opens his eyes, he realizes that he has turned into a child and was transported into a different world. In this unfamiliar world, magic doesn't exist and all his achievements and power he once had was gone, and he now has to start from the beginning. This world is full of martial artists, but he vows to reach the 9th circle in this life, and so he sets out on his journey as a young scholar in the Murim world. The concept of this manhwa has a unique take, and the art is nice, but it is an older art style, so if that bothers you, you should take a pass on this. It's not a bad manhwa in my opinion, but I wouldn't say it's good either. Promised Orchid. Yang Jae-sin always dreams the same dream of a woman telling him she'll be waiting. One day, he meets a mysterious fortune teller who tells him he cannot avoid destiny and leaves him with some advice. For the path he walks, Jason must keep with him the eyes that can see the isolated truth. Well, the story revolves around ghosts, specters, and the MC who has the ability to see them, so he was different from normal human beings. The MC shifted from an apartment to a cheap haunted house, which is really an old house with some hidden secrets. Then he met the female MC in an ancient temple who is a specter. Then their adventure started with specters. The art in this manhwa is really good. It's original, it has a good plot and storyline. Everything is just amazing. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air, this won't disappoint you. Lawless Zone. Two high school students, Lee Sang-hyun and Bae Ji-hyun, live their lives as normal high school students, while secretly hiding their true identities, mages of law. But on one eventful day, Bae Ji-hyun reveals her identity of being a law mage in an attempt to rescue Lee Sang-hyun from a deadly attack from the corruptors. But to her surprise, Lee Sang-hyun has a secret to show of his own. Join Lee Sang-hyun and Bae Ji-hyun as they make numerous sacrifices and attempts in order to fight and exterminate the corruptors that are plaguing the world in which they live in. Now, there's nothing really outstanding about this manhwa, but I just found it rather interesting to say the least. The storyline is okay in my opinion, and the art is decent. Overall, it's not a bad read. Poison Dragon, The Legend of an Asura. The Yakman clan, which boasted a long and ancient past, was wiped out in a massacre. The corpses piled up like mountains and the blood flowed like ocean water. Amidst this hell of despair, Sura opened his eyes. No one shall be spared. I shall kill everyone. It doesn't end unless I've killed each and every one of them. Jin Jakang is the lone survivor of his clan. On a day far in the future, the story of revenge against the Ganghea Murimsa which shall be recorded in legends, begins. This is the story of a boy who suffers, grows up through hell, and wants revenge. At the start of this manhwa, the MC is what you would think of a child. While he might adapt extremely quickly, he still makes silly mistakes as a child would. Magician. In the village of Adat, Remy, the tomboy granddaughter of a local witch, sees the infamous mage Elder Mask heading towards her hometown. Wanting to find out who is stronger, she sets off to challenge him with her childhood friend, a novice swordsman who is always dragged around wherever she goes. However, in the background, there is a war going on between the two powerful nations, Theodorel and Alumhan, in order to rule the sea. Remy, her childhood friend, and the infamous, immortal magician Ethermask begin their journey into the unknown. Each of them seeks something different from their journey. This manhwa has some interesting characters with great story and character development. The pacing is a bit slow in the beginning, but it makes you get attached to the characters in a way. It's a pretty solid read if you ask me. Arcane Sniper. The sharpshooter Ha Li Ha simply wanted to be a part of the army forever. However, due to an unfortunate accident, he was unable to use the lower part of his body and was tossed back into society. The revolutionary VR game Middle-earth presented a new life to him. Money obtained in Middle-earth has real-world value, yet he ruined his chance by selecting the lowest tier character. Now this is definitely worth the read due to the plot, main character's growth, and the world building. It's not the most original story about VR RPG, but it's actually pretty good in my opinion. Dungeons and Artifacts. This manhwa is set up in a fantasy land where human kingdoms, elves, dwarves, and dungeons exist containing monsters and artifacts. Dungeons attract the human mind, strengthens itself with the dead, and uses artifacts as bait to lure more victims. Stage Atelier, an explorer of dungeons, was betrayed after he was able to get his hands on an exceptional artifact that has the ability to suck mana from dead monsters and other artifacts. Beyond the threshold of death, he was given a second chance, and so he begins his long journey to get his revenge. This manhwa is very similar to Solo Leveling. The world building is a bit slow but well done, and it also has some beautiful art in it. It's a must read if you like rebirth manhwas. Lessa. In a world where demons walk the streets at night, there are demon hunters. A demon hunter named Rano who is trying to find his sister. Along the way, he finds a person who has the same teeth structure as demons, yet is not affected by sunlight. This person, Lessa, seems to remember who Rano is, but Rano does not remember who he is. Rano only dreams of this person. What are the connections between these two? This story is so underrated for how good it is. It's good in the beginning, but the further you get, the plot and development of the two main characters are just amazing. This one is definitely a good read in my book. I highly recommend checking this one out. Nano Machine. The story starts with a weak, illegitimate prince of the Lord who is trying to protect himself from being assassinated. After being held in disdain and having his life put in danger, Cheonyeonwoo was saved by an unexpected visit from his descendant from the future, who implanted a nano machine into Cheonyeonwoo's body, which has the ability to record and scan any movements and textbooks, and also has healing capabilities. Given these amazing abilities, he sets out to the Demonic Academy, where he begins his journey of bypassing the demonic cult, to become the best martial artist and find out the mystery behind his mother's death. The art is amazing, the storyline is great, and the characters are well written. If you haven't already, you should definitely give this a read. Now that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.